AFTV, Preston 0, Arsenal 3. I've got Laurie with me. Laurie, we are through to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup and in pretty convincing fashion as well.
Yeah, I'm happy with the result. I said before the game that I wanted Arsenal to show the proper respect, meaning respect for the competition, respect for the opposition, and respect to the fans for travelling all the way up there and supporting the team. And I think we saw that tonight. I was liking the team selection. I like the fact that he paid Timber. I like the fact that there was a couple of other players in there that perhaps you might not be expected to see, but they played. And we got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, you mentioned one specific name there in Yuri and Timber. That's probably perhaps a name that none of us expected to see play today. And obviously, he goes off at the start of the second half to what we don't know what it is yet. And obviously, he's had his injury concerns over the last few weeks, and we don't know if the sub was because of an injury. Do you think it was a risk to play him in a game like this, given that it could be an injury that he's gone off for in that second half?
Well, it's always a risk when you play players, especially if they've been injured previously. But at some point, they've got to play, innit? I mean, you can't wrap them in cotton wool forever. And I think the manager said, in fact, I'm pretty sure the manager said that it wasn't injury why he took him off in the previous game against Liverpool. It was more tiredness. So I think what we saw tonight was him giving him a run out, and then we'll be assessing him ahead of the game against Newcastle. Because let's be honest, man, Timber's a very important part of Arsenal, the way we play. He's very integral to what we do. So to see him out there tonight, for me, and the likes of Martinelli, was a statement of intent by the manager that he's taking the competition seriously. And that's what I've been calling for all week.
Of course, absolutely. And obviously, speaking of assessments, we saw a lot of the youth team players in action today. And I think we're in agreement in terms of our man of the match, Ethan Nwaneri. What did you make of his game today?
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. He topped it off with a goal, but even before that, some of his approach play, the way he gets up and down the pitch. He's only 17. I still can't believe he's only 17.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
But he has a physical presence about him. I remember seeing him take the pitch previously, and I thought, for a young guy, he's a big, sturdy lad. You know what I mean? And so, listen, he's got everything. The talent is there. It seems like the mentality is there. He's definitely knocking on the door for a start against Newcastle. In fact, he may even start. Who knows? I do think the manager will go with Trossard.
If you had the choice, though, if you was in Mikel's shoes, who would you be starting on Saturday?
That's a very good question, especially after the tough performance that he had tonight. However, I think I would still go for Trossard on account of his experience, because Newcastle, away from home especially, is a pretty tough game. But I do think that Nwaneri will see game time against Newcastle. I'm convinced of it. So, yeah, listen, man, it's a great thing to have. I mean, Odegaard being out, a lot of people were very concerned. And listen, Odegaard has been a big miss. But the one positive about Odegaard being out is that Nwaneri's been given game time, and he's proved, without a doubt, that he's at that level.
Of course, absolutely. Obviously, you mentioned there Odegaard coming back. Obviously, with that being right around the corner, do you perhaps feel that Mikel might have potentially missed his opportunity to give Ethan Nwaneri that Premier League start? Because, like you said, he's probably favouring Leandro Trossard in terms of, seniority and experience on the pitch. And if we expect Odegaard back in the next couple of weeks or whatever it might be, do you think maybe Arteta could have given Ethan a chance in the Premier League to start against maybe a Leicester or a Southampton, for example?
Yeah, he might have, but you know what? Competition for places is what it's all about. When you're a team like Arsenal and you're fighting on all fronts, you need a strong squad. So players like Nwaneri, who's kind of on the periphery of the team, you know that when he's called upon, as he was tonight, he can do a job. I mean, okay, it's Preston, it's not Newcastle, but as I said before, this kid has the talent, and he seems to have the temperament. He's definitely got the physicality. So he will get games, man. It's a long season. This weekend against Newcastle will be match day 9. So that's 25% of the season. So it's a long way to go. We've got cup games, we've got Champions League, and we've got the Premier League. He will get more game time. So I'm not too concerned in answer to your question about him not getting starts beforehand. What we're seeing is that when called upon, this guy has the ability to come in and do a good job.
Absolutely. And another man in the headlines today will, of course, be Gabriel Jesus, who ends a very lengthy goal drought today, as he's got that one. He also got the assist as well. Do you think this is the start of potentially seeing Gabriel Jesus being back to his best? Obviously, we haven't really seen that since he came back from the injury, but do you think this is the start of getting closer to that?
I certainly hope so. I hope it's not a false dawn. What I would say is, listen, if you've not scored for approaching 25 games and you scored tonight, that's got to be a huge weight lifted off his shoulders. And I think you saw the way the other players celebrated with him tonight. They were so made up for him. I was, you was, we all were. You know, I mean, let's hope that now he's got that monkey off his back, he can go on and really show what he's about. Because he's had a tough time, man. He's had a tough time. And he may not admit it publicly, but I'm sure privately he would have been going through some difficult moments. So it was really nice to see him get on the score sheet today. I wouldn't say him scoring tonight against Preston is right, that's it, we're all on track now. But, as I said, it will do his confidence no harm. It's a step in the right direction. And listen, I wish him all the best.
Absolutely. Well, listen, obviously we're about to see the draw. Who would you be? We know who's going through to the quarterfinals now, and I know it's back in mid-December that we haven't got to worry about that till. But who would you like to see us get in the quarterfinal draw?
I'm not going to be as brave as some of you guys. What I would say is let's hope we get a home draw. And without wishing to be disrespectful, let's have Southampton. Man. I mean, and I say that not because I'm hating on Southampton. I'm just thinking in terms of current form.
Yeah.
We should be able to beat Southampton at home. And unlike some of my Arsenal brethren fans, I really do think that this is a competition that we need to be winning. We need to take it seriously. We need to try and win it. We've not won it in God knows how long. It's about time we put that right. So listen, I don't really want to be calling out teams, but you asked me and I said Southampton. But I'll take anyone, especially if it's at home.
Okay, that's fair enough. And obviously thinking more short term, obviously we've got the game against Newcastle away this weekend in the Premier League. Especially after a result like today, how confident are you going into that game?
Yeah, I'm reasonably confident. I mean, Newcastle are a decent side, obviously. In fact, they're more than a decent side. On their day, they're a very good side. And they're even better when they're at home. Yeah. It's an early kickoff, which traditionally Arsenal have not always performed at their best in early kickoffs. But listen, I'm liking the energy. The vibes from the manager appears to be good. Some of the injuries are cleared up. I think we'll have Timber back for that game. Listen, man, we got to back our team, innit? I mean, there's enough ability and talent there to get the job done. Newcastle, it will be a test, but I'm confident we can come through.
Perfect. Thank you, Laurie.